Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome my dear student to new lesson. Today we are in vocabulary and grammar, page 55. Today we will study some words related to geographical features, also future tenses, and answer some exercises. Vocabulary and grammar. For vocabulary today we will study geographical features, and for grammar, future tenses. Okay? Let's start with vocabulary, geographical features, lexical set. When I say lexical set, I mean group of words related to each other, go under one name, geographical features. For example, we call it pond. Pond, it's a small body of still water, quiet water, formed naturally or by embarking, like lake and swimming pool and so on. Okay, so small body of still water, quiet water. Ocean, a large sea, a very large sea. Desert. Desert is a dry and barren area of land, okay, where there is no or little water and high temperature and so on. Oasis. Oasis is fertile spot in a desert where water is found in the middle of desert. Canyon. What is it? What's canyon? It is a deep valley, typically one with a river flowing through it. Okay, so this is canyon. Another, polar ice cap. It's a high latitude region covered with snow, whether in the north or in the south. It's covered with snow. Waterfall, as you can see, it's waterfall. It's known. This is the last geographical feature. Now we will go or move to grammar. Today we study future tenses. Let's read the dialogue below first. Match the phrases in the bold with their functions from A to C. A. Next July we are going. This is a future. To volunteer with the National Science Foundation and help scientists save the Amazon rainforest. Would you like to come with us? So, what do you think? Future prediction? Something that someone has just decided to do, or something that someone has already planned to do? It is C. Okay, C, something that someone has already planned to do. Another, of course, scientists say that in a few years only half of the rainforest will still exist. So, future predict, okay, or guess. They guess that. Future prediction. We are not sure. This is just a prediction. Another, of course, scientists, or B, sorry, we are in B now. In that case, I will come with you. So, B, something that has just decided to, okay? So, you have just decided to do that. Spot decision. Okay? B, however, by 2020, logging will have reduced. Look to this future tense, will have reduced the size of rainforest by 60%. When will that happen? Of course, before 2020. When I say by means before. So before this time, this thing will be finished. 2, During this day, the 7-day adventure, you will be helping the local community clean up the affected areas. Will be helping. What is this sentence emphasize or stress? It talks about to. It will be B, the duration of a future action, the time that it will take, exactly, the duration of the future action, okay? Now, let's look to the different kind of a future, because today we study future. So, the first kind is future will. Future will. How can I form it? Will plus base form. What do I mean with base form? No ending, okay? Is used for prediction. Usually I use will for prediction. I'm not sure. Maybe. I think that, okay? The other one, also future will. Will plus base form here is used for what? Spontaneous decision. Spontaneous decision, on the spot. Decision. We didn't decide before, okay? So spontaneous decision. Another one, future now with going to. So we have future will and we have future with going to. Future with going to need is, are, need helping verb before. According to the subject, of course, I am, he is, they are, and so on. Then going to, then the base form, of course. After going to, also base form. Why I use this future, which is going to, not will? I use going to when I talk about people's intentions or plans you have already been made. Any plan you have already you prepared before, you can use here going to, not will. Another kind, future progressive. When I say future progressive, maybe this is the first time you hear it. Progressive. Progressive usually means ing. So I will have a future and ing together. I will have will, after will infinitive or base form. So I will say be, will be, and then the main verb with ing. In this way I have a future progressive. Is used to emphasize the duration, the time of a future action. The other kind or the last kind of a future is also perfect. Future and perfect together. So future perfect. How can I form it? Will, because future, then have and past participle. The third form of the verb, because it's perfect, is used for action, will completed before a specific time or another action in the future. Then here you have two action. Something happened before the another, okay? Notice something. We use present progressive, but usually we use it for what? For people, plans and arrangement. When referring to future, we use will usually, okay? But we should use will in the main clause, But we will use in the other clause, in the time clause. What I mean with time clause? The word that had, or the clause that has a word refer to time. Like what? After, when, time, as soon as, before, after, until, till, by the time. All of these refer to time. So this is time clause. In the time clause, I'm going to use what? Present simple. In the main clause, future. Example, you will help to train young and interested high school students. So this is main clause, so use will, future with will. With time, while they prepare, we use present simple because time, while, after, and so on, okay? Decide now. We have now exercise C. Decide which of the example from A to B above match the rules below. So we'll say the rule and we look to the sentence, okay, that match it. Okay, number 1. The future will. Do you remember future will? Will plus base form. We used it for what? Prediction. We are not sure. Okay, prediction. We guess what will happen in the future. Of course, scientists say that in a few years, only half of the rainforest will still exist. They just guess, predict, but they are not sure. So we use future with will. Another kind, future will also for spontaneous decision, okay, on the spot decision, without planning, okay, without planning, okay. In that case, I will come with you. So you decide, okay? You decided now, okay? There's no plan before it. So, okay, I will go with you. I will come with you, okay? Number 3, future with going to need am or is or are, don't forget, plus base form, but it's used for what? It's the opposite of will. It's used for something, okay, you have already planned or prepared it, okay? You have a plan in your mind before. So if you have a plan, use going to. If you don't have a plan, spontaneous decision and planned, use will, okay? Let's look to the sentence. Next July, we are going to volunteer. We are going. So we have a special time. We decide which month we are going. So we have a plan with the National Science Foundation and help scientists save the Amazon rainforest. The future progressive will be ing, okay? Why we use it? To emphasize the duration of future. So let's look how. During the 7-day, I took the time, exactly the time, this 7-day adventure, you will be helping progressive, the local community. The future perfect will have a past participle used for action completed before another action, before a specific time or another action in the future. However, by 2020, before this time, before this year, logging will have reduced, okay? This action will be finished before this time, okay? Then let's summarize. What did we say? Future tenses. We said future tenses. Future will, future going to, future perfect, future progressive. For future will, I have different uses. Future with will. Let's look together. I will be on time. This is what? Promise. So for promises, we use future will. I will and base form. I will be on time. Promise. I think it will rain. Here, prediction. I'm not sure. I think. I expect. I guess. I believe. All this word, maybe. So all this word means that it's what? It's just prediction. We are not sure. So we are going to use think. I will go with you. This is spontaneous decision. You decide without planning before. Okay? You just decided now. I will go with you. Spontaneous decision. I will not speak to you again. So for threat or warning. Okay, if you do that, I will not. So for threat and warning, we are also going to use the future will. So this is usually where we use the future will. With promise, with prediction, spontaneous decision, and threat or warning. What about going to? Let's go to going to. For going to, I'm going to study English. I'm going to study English. Look, it's going to rain. Either here, I have two cases. The first one, I'm going to study English here. I have a plan. I prepared before. I have a plan. So I used going to. And before of it, be, or is, or are. And the other one, look, here you have evidence. You are sure. Okay, sure that this thing will happen. So if you are sure, you are going to use going to, not will. Okay? If you are not sure, well, okay? So look, I have evidence, okay? It's going to rain. So I'm going to use going to, okay? Future perfect. I will have finished my homework. I will finish from it by the time you arrive. Before the time you arrive, I will have finished my homework, okay? So this action will finish before another action, okay? The other action is in the present. By the time you arrive, before the time you arrive. It's in present simple. Future progressive, the last kind. I will be working. Will and be an ing. I will be working at this time tomorrow. I mentioned the time here exactly at 6 o'clock tomorrow. At this time tomorrow. Okay? At okay, special time. You give me special time, the duration of time. Okay? So this is future progressive. So this is in general the different kinds of will. Okay? Let's look now to future will. Will, when you want to make will, usually you have base form after it, okay? No is, no ed, no ing. Let's take example. I'll work, abbreviation, short form of I will, subject and will, and the main verb. If you want to make a question, you use will. Will you work? Will you work? You change the order, start with will as a helping verb. In the negative, you'll say they will not after will. They won't work as a short form, or they will not work. And also he'll sleep. Will she sleep? It will not sleep. This is how can I make it positive or negative, okay? The future will is used, and this is the different cases that we discussed it before in short, okay? Let's revise it quickly. When I talk about prediction, about future, usually I have a word like that. What? Perhaps, probably, I think, hope, expect, I'm not sure. So all these words means that you are not sure. This is just prediction. So you are going to use future will. She will probably be here tomorrow. We are not sure. We think that, prediction. To talk about spontaneous decision, we have run out of milk. Okay, so I will go and buy some. You didn't find milk, so you decide on the spot now to go and buy some. This is what we call it, on a spot decision. For promises, I will be on time, don't worry. So I'll give you a promise, I'll give you a word. For offers also and request, like when I say, I will do the washing up after dinner. Will you help me? This is offer or request. Will you help me clean my room? So here I'm going to use will, okay, future will. And for threats and warning, like when I say, I will not speak to you again if you do that. So threat and warning, okay? What about going to the another? Future going to am, is, are. Don't forget before it, then going to, then base form. How can I do it? Am going to stay because I, or he is going to leave. How can I make the question? Okay, here I have a helping verb. So you are going to use is, are, the helping verb that you have. Are you going to stay? Negative. They aren't. You are going to use are, aren't, isn't, am not, okay? They aren't going to stay, so negative. He's going to leave. So if I want to make a question, is he going to leave or is she going to leave? If I want to make it negative, it isn't or she is not going to leave, and so on. The uses of future, as we have said before, used in two cases. Number one, to talk about future plans. You prepare before, you have a plan. My brother is, because one, singular, going to study biology, not will, because he have a plan to study the subject. To make a prediction, but not any prediction. I should have evidence. Like when I say, look out, Okay, there is evidence. You are going to trip over that chair. So I used going to. Usually the time expression for future, this word, something referred to future, like what? Tomorrow, tonight, next month, or year, or next week, or next Tuesday, this month, this year, this week, in an hour, in a year from now, soon. So all of them refer to future. Let's look to this note. Sometimes we use the present progressive, yeah, but we use the present progressive like going to for planned future action. It's the same, but usually a present progressive for or related to personal arrangement for yourself, not for others, like my brother is going to do that. But here, personal arrangement for myself. I'm talking about myself. I'm traveling to London tomorrow. So here, personal arrangement. So I use the present progressive. Am, is, are, and ing. Future progressive. We sit together. Future, so will. After will, be, infinitive. Progressive, so ing. Then three things. Will, be, ing. How can I do it? I will be working. Any question? Will you be working at this time? They will not be working, the negative. Or he will be sleeping. Will she be sleeping at 9 o'clock, for example, tomorrow? Or it will not be sleeping, and so on. This is how can I make it. The uses for future progressive, as we have said, to talk about action that will be in progressive at specific time in the future. I mention exactly, not just tomorrow, at 9 o'clock tomorrow, at this time tomorrow. So I give a specific time in the future. He will be flying to Egypt. So at 9 o'clock tomorrow, he will be flying to Egypt. Okay, so I give exact time, specific time, not just tomorrow. Or to emphasize duration of action, takes long time. Like we say, I will be reading magazines all day tomorrow. So not just tomorrow also, I give you what? The duration of time, that all day I will do that. I will be reading a magazine all day tomorrow. So from all day, I'm going to use a progressive. Okay, it talks about duration of action. The other one, or the last one, future perfect, will plus have plus past participle. Okay, how can I make it? I will have worked. As a question, will you have worked? As a negative, they will not have worked as a negative. Okay, why we use it? The future perfect, it's used for to talk about action that will be completed exactly, but before a specific time or another action in the future. For example, the verb describe the second action in the present simple. Here example, he will have returned. When? By the time you leave, before the time you leave. Usually I use this tense with this tense, special word like by. By, and I mentioned the time, 6 o'clock, by the time, by then, or before Sunday, or by Sunday. So to mention the time, okay? Now let's take this practice for our lesson. Which one we are going to use? Present simple, future, progressive, or perfect, okay? So let's start. The first one, are you going to watch the game tonight? Arrangement. Of course. Do you think, look here, think, that all stars will win? Prediction? No way, I think so, also think. So, will be an exciting game. So, listen, when I say listen, Jack and I are going to watch. Here, evidence. So, listen, look. And, okay, here, I will call. Here, what do we call it? Spontaneous decision. Okay, we call it spontaneous decision. And this is another example you have. Do this, the last thing, this time, or this exercise with me. This time tomorrow, what do you think? This time tomorrow. Special time, not any time, this time. Now at 9 tomorrow, this time tomorrow, will be playing future progressive. Okay? When I say, we need some milk. Okay, I will buy some milk because there is no milk now. So spontaneous decision, okay? On the spot decision, no plan. So will, A, okay? So this is as practice, and thanks a lot. We finished our lesson today.